Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Janaye, and I'm here on Butterfly Talks with Madam Butterfly. I am a singer, songwriter, all around artist, and I'm so excited to share with y'all. I have new music coming out. You can find it on whatever platform you listen to, and you can find me on social media at Hey Jasmine Janaye.
Welcome to Butterfly Talk.
Ooh,
We're
thank
here with
you.
Jasmine Janaye, the beautiful, talented Jasmine Janaye. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And we would like to know more about you.
Okay, where should I start?
Who are you?
Who am I? I feel like I've lived so many lives
Mhm.
already in a short amount of time. I just had a birthday, just turned 37, and
Oh,
sometimes I look back and I'm like,
happy belated.
thank you. I'm like, Leo season, we're celebrating all season long.
Yes.
But okay, if we're going back to the roots, so I grew up in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, down the Gulf Coast. Alabama girls,
Yes.
here we are.
Birmingham,
Yeah, down in Mobile.
Mobile. Okay.
So that's where I grew up, and even though I never did music as like a, it was never like, oh, I'm gonna be a musician. This was not like a childhood dream or childhood passion, but music was always a part of my life. Like I come from a very musical family on my mom's side in particular. So my mom sings like an angel, plays piano, aunts, uncles, like a lot of folks involved in music that way. And then my dad, even though he's not a performer himself, like I always have to credit him with like my taste in music is thanks to him because he just whatever sounded good, it could be rock, it could be soul, it could be funk, it could be country. Like I know so many country bangers because riding the truck with that man. And
Yes.
so I feel like between the two of them, like my mom having the musical talent, my dad having the musical taste, and then all of that sort of like fused together. So growing up for me, it was second nature. Like it didn't even occur to me to be like, oh, this is something I want to like work toward and strive for. Like I played piano, I was in band, did all these things. But after like I went to college, did the whole, like get your good degree and get your big girl job and all of that. And I actually went straight into corporate, which looking back was a mistake.
Yeah.
But well, let me not say that. Let me not say that because it served a purpose. It
Right.
served the purpose for the time that I needed it to. But I want to say around 2020, when all the pandemic stuff happened and everything was shifting to work from home, that's when I sort of started finding myself getting back to music. And like I'd done stuff in high school, a little bit in college, and even dabbled a little bit when I was living in New York. But again, it was always like a hobby. It was never something that I was really pursuing. And so having a bunch of time to myself is what got me back, like sitting at the piano, playing songs that I knew. I started writing songs again. And then it's like it all just kind of started unfolding on its own from there. And I ended up finding really good people here in Atlanta, really good community, ATL Collective, which is how we met.
Shout out to
Doing,
ATL
yeah,
Collective.
listen, that's a whole other chapter, okay?
Yes.
ATL Collective is such a strong part of my origin story as an artist right now. But doing that songwriting camp was actually my first time in a professional studio. It was my first time working with a producer, working with other writers and other artists. And it just blew the whole thing open for me because I was like, oh, wait, I can do this. Like, we sat in a room for what, 2.5 days? Like, not even a full, it wasn't even a full week.
That's how we met, you guys. We were in a writing camp together and we made a few songs. This one song it's called Sexy Funk. We really need you all to hear this song. We have to.
Enzo, we're coming back.
Enzo. No, but your journey is beautiful. Like that's a beautiful journey. Do you remember or recall the first time that you ever sang?
Ooh, so yes, unfortunately, it's not like a it's not a happy memory per se, but as you can tell from my voice, like I have a naturally low, like heavier voice. I guess especially for a woman. And I've sounded like this probably since I was 10.
Okay.
And so being a little girl with this voice that was deeper than a lot of the boys was not something that folks were like, oh, like now people are like, oh, your voice is so sultry. And so, yeah, I get that word so much. But when you're 10, everyone's like, why you sound like a man? I'm like, get out of here. Like, why?
Kids don't care.
Recess was torture. Recess was torture.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so there were these times, I can remember in 4th grade, there was just like a group of girls. I feel like this like always happens where it's like, we're just like having our own little talent show on the playground and everybody's like picking parts of songs that we probably shouldn't even be singing, but whatever. And when it came around to my turn, I just remember folks being like, oh, ooh, ooh,
nice.
oh, and like having those same comments. I'm like, oh, like you need to be singing bass or you need to be singing tenor. Like there was this kid who would walk around calling me Barry White. Like,
oh wow, kids are.
and so because
are
of that,
fun.
I actually did not really sing for a long time. Like I want to say it was around maybe even my senior year of high school when I was doing. I took dance lessons, and the studio where I did dance also added a musical theater component. And the woman who ran that also happened to be the the head of the music department at our church. And she, I guess, just heard just enough something because I've always had an ear. You know, it's like I've always like melody, harmony. I've always been able to pick that up really well. And she heard just enough of a little something that she put me in a group. It was like this little trio with me and two other girls from our church. And she would just have us do kind of like little special occasion things. And I was just like singing real quiet, singing real low. And she'd be like, no, bring it out, bring it out. So that's really probably the first thing that even gave me a little confidence to be like, okay, I could do a little something. Let me sing out loud. And then I took that into college, and that's when I sang with the a cappella group there, and that's when I really started to find my voice a little more.
Nice. That's a beautiful process, a beautiful journey to go from being bullied.
Listen, when I see him, I'm not gonna say his name because I know how the internet can be.
Yes.
But he knows who he is, and I know who he is. So if I see you again.
But from going from that to somebody actually seeing you and pulling it out of you to you getting to the point now where you're like, you're all in. That's a beautiful journey. It's beautiful to see. And when I look at your videos online on IG, I'm like, this girl is, I love it.
Thank you.
I love everything about it. So what do we have in store? What do you have in store for us?
Yeah, okay, so a lot has happened over these past couple of years. So when I released my first EP, that was toward the end of 2024, and I was just coming out of, it was just a big transition. Like I had sort of made the decision that I was like, I need to get off this corporate train. Like it's just, the burnout was weighing a little too heavy, and I think after 2 different instances actually of hitting burnout to the point that I really couldn't function, I was like, this is not sustainable. Like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do yet, but I know I can do something, so we're gonna figure it out. So releasing that EP was sort of like my first little like making my entrance or making my first little mark as like, okay, like I'm taking myself seriously as a songwriter, as a singer, as an artist. And I haven't released anything since.
Okay.
And so it's time. It's time. We're back in the studio. I've been working with an incredible team that I'm just honestly feeling fortunate. Like I don't even want to jinx it because it's like you ask people, it's like, hey, would you be down to be a part of this? And everybody keeps saying yes. And I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you. And so I'm excited for it because the first EP it was just an exploration in a lot of ways. Like I feel like I was still experimenting with my musical style, my lyrical style, like learning the ins and outs of production and just like putting your own piece of work together. And this one, like I'm feeling a lot more rooted. Like I'm feeling a lot more sure, a lot more confident, a lot more clear on what my sound is and also what I have to say. And so as much as the first project, it was vulnerable. Like I don't want to say that, you know, it was like all surface level. Like no, there was some deep stuff in there. But this next one feels like, okay, we're shedding the shyness, we're shedding the like, oh, like I'm supposed to be all, you know, pinned up and prim and proper. It's like, no, we're gonna get a little gritty, get in there a little bit. So I'm excited for a more earthy and soulful and a little sultry, a little sexy, get all that in there.
So my question to you is, what brought about that change? What got you to the point from the last EP to this EP feeling more comfortable with being relaxed and yourself and not prim and proper? And you know, I get maybe it's still coming out of the corporate too.
I think it's very connected to that actually. And as much as people always say, it's like, you know, don't make your job your identity, don't make your work your everything. It can be hard to separate when you're in the kind of job where you're spending so much time. And like the job I worked in tech, which was already like a weird industry. I feel like it's like a lot of hustle, a lot of intensity for honestly no reason. It's software. Like I never understand sometimes the sense of urgency that these teams would have. I'm just like, y'all, I have friends who are literal brain surgeons and they don't be as like on edge about an email or a Slack message, but I digress. But I do think there was a part of me that, some of it is definitely from the upbringing and being, it's like you represent yourself and your family in a certain light, and you're always supposed to appear a certain way. And I just carried that with me through college, through work, through everything. And I didn't realize how much I had really kind of started molding my personality around that persona, around being the one who's like very put together and like always on top of things. And it's like, oh, she's so like expressive and articulate, and like you can put her in front of a room of executives and it's like, okay, cool, cute, but that's not actually how I like that's not actually how I am when there's nothing else around. And so I think being out of that environment, like honestly, that whole first year, I can't even account for most of 2025. Like I can't even tell you what I was doing because it was such a blur of me just like decompressing and just like shedding so much of all of that corporate identity. In fact, the first song on that EP is called She's Gone, and it's basically the story of me being like, we got to get out of this and letting it go. And so I think by me kind of like setting that down and not having something to replace it with right away. Like I didn't quit the job to go straight into another job. Like I didn't have a clear path or a clear step. And so I was really kind of at square zero, like there was really kind of nothing. And so now this past year has really been me being very careful and very intentional about, well, what do I want to put back on the plate? Like, we blew it all up. We shattered it. Like there's nothing left. And so now if I'm rebuilding it from scratch, like, what do I actually want to put on here when there's not, some well-intentioned adult telling me what I should do, or when there's not some, social media hashtag goals or whatever telling me what I should aspire to? Like, what do I actually want to hold? Like, what do I actually want to hold on to? And so I think that process of stripping it bare and like stripping it all the way down and then figuring out like, what am I actually drawn to? What actually resonates? What actually comes up when I just like sit in the stillness and just let everything else fall away. And that's what's, I think, kind of gotten me here.
So as an artist, as a singer, what advice would you give other singers that might have a similar path as you, that is trying to make it to the point of releasing that burden?
So the first thing is get by yourself. Get to a point, whether it's physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, whatever it is, something where you can block out all the noise, all the chatter, all the versions of yourself that you have been so far, and see what it feels like. Like I'm a big person, I'm big on somatics, I'm big on breath work, and it sounds so simple, but when you just get in the quiet and sit there and breathe, it's amazing sometimes the insight that will pop up, the feelings that will come up, the memories, things that you didn't even know were in there that will come up. So that's the first thing that I would say. And the second one, which again sounds like I'm going in the complete opposite direction, is find people. And when I say find people, I mean, you got to find folks who are on the same journey that you're on, people who are supportive and rooting for that journey, and folks who are a little further ahead of you. I think it's really easy in, like I said, like my previous work in the corporate life, it's so easy because in some ways it can be easy because there's a path, it's like you start at the entry level, you work, you hit your goals, you hit your metrics, you get a promotion, maybe you get a mentor, you get a guide. There's all these sort of there's this infrastructure that's in place to sort of help you get from point A to point B. But when you're just starting out as an artist or as a singer, there's no linear path like that. There's no, hey, start here and then work that for a year and then you'll be on to the next level and the next level and the next level. It's like it winds all the way around. And for the first, I want to say year or two that I even started taking myself seriously, I was just grasping at anything. I was showing up to open mics. I was doing the songwriting camps. I was just trying to find anybody or anything that looked like what I was trying to do. And once I found those places where people were welcoming and people were open and people, saw the potential in me, like there's so many folks who I can name. I mentioned ATL Collective. There's also a really strong and vibrant jazz community here that I'm a part of that has welcomed me in. And it's like, once you find those spaces, commit to it. Commit. The same way that you would show up at a job, I was showing up at a Monday night jam session at 10, 11 p.m. Even before I quit the job, knowing I had to wake up and get on Zoom. But I understood that it's like, hey, I'm in the room with people who are doing this at such a high level. And I'm in the room with people who are doing this professionally and doing it in the way that I want to do it. So I gotta be part of this. Like, I gotta be part of this. And so I think kind of going back and forth between those two things is what's kind of gotten me here. And now I'm, still early in it. I want to say I'm 2 years that I could say I'm doing this full time, in the sense that I don't have another job that I'm doing full time. But it's maybe been about 4 years, I'll say, like getting close to like somewhere between 3 and 4 years that I've been working at this. And I'm not gonna like, I hope this doesn't sound I hope this doesn't sound or come off the wrong way, but there are some people who I've met who are 10, even 100 times more talented than me, and I'm already working circles around them because I'm putting myself in rooms with people who can pull me forward, and people who are pouring into me when they're giving me advice, they're making suggestions on things I should do, things I should learn, classes I should take, coaches I should work with. I'm doing it and I'm working it, and I'm making sure that I'm putting myself in position so that when opportunities come up, people think of my name and they're like, oh yeah, let's check with Jasmine. Let's see if Jasmine can do something like this. And I'm seeing folks who, again, are so talented, but they're not working it for real. They're not working it for real, and they're just kind of like sitting, waiting for opportunity to knock on their door and find them. And I'm like, I want to shake them sometimes, because I'm just like, don't let me outrun you in this. Like, we're supposed to be in this together. But again, for me, it's been figuring out, like getting quiet, figuring out for myself what's left and what's important when I strip away all of those previous versions of myself that other people applauded and thought were so wonderful. And then when I'm in those rooms with people who see something and people who support me and people who want to see me go far, I saddle up, I buckle in. I'm like, whatever you say, whatever you put in front of me, like, I'm gonna run toward it. And I think it's getting me a lot further than the rate of my experience. I think I'm growing faster than the rate of my experience because of that.
So that's
talking.
No, we needed all of that. We needed all of that.
Oh my goodness, don't ask me that. Okay, depending on the day, I love, so anything with spice. Like, so I love Indian food, I love Thai food, I love Mexican food, I love wings, like hot wings. I'm so boring. People are like, oh, what flavor you want? Buffalo, hot. Like, I don't need honey this, I don't need lemon pepper that, hot. That's what I want. And so that's does that count as a favorite food? Like, that's my favorite type of food.
It's kind of spicy. Just spicy is your favorite. Kick, yeah. I love it.
I'm laughing because I already know I sound like such a like crunchy granola hippie. I love some kombucha.
Okay.
Which is funny because I feel like the first person who put me onto kombucha, one of my my brother-in-law was like brewing it like for himself, and I was just like, I don't know about all this. Like, I don't know if you've seen the process. It is not cute. Once I got past that and started finding flavors I like I go through so much kombucha. It's crazy. Oh, from the 80s or 90s, if you had said 70s, I had it immediately. Fast forwarding to the 90s, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is always one I come back to. That's actually one of the first albums. Like, I was a little too young when it first came out, so it's like I definitely don't remember like that moment of it coming out, but I do remember it being, if not the first, one of the first CDs that I bought with my own money, when they would drop us off at like FYE and CD Warehouse. You go digging through the little crates and listening to the little headphones in there. And so that's one, I think that was also one of the first ones that inspired me to pick up a guitar, which I wish I had kept up with more, more than I did, because at that time, at least, like, I really didn't hear Black girls playing guitar and like singing these sort of like acoustic driven songs that still had like that soulful component to it as well. So that's always one I come back to. Ooh, okay. So two that come to mind, many years ago, I did a trip to Thailand with a couple friends, and it was, I don't even know how we netted out there. It's like we had a friend who was living in Beijing at the time. So me and a friend flew from New York to visit her, and then all three of us went down to Thailand. And I think, it was one of the first places that I'd been that was, that I completely did not know the language at all. And you can't even figure it out, like the signs and the symbols and stuff. It's not even like you go somewhere and it's like Spanish or French. even if you don't really speak the language, you can pick out some of the key words. Nothing. I did not know what those symbols meant, but everybody was so so welcoming, and they all felt so. It's like they were so excited to share their culture with us and to get to know us and ask, what we did and where we came from and all these kind of questions. Fed us like, oh my goodness, like some of the best food of my life still.
I love Thailand.
Had such a good time there. And then a newer place, somewhere I just went for the first time this past, like over the holidays and the New Year's, was Cape Town, South Africa. I have a friend there who I'm gonna shout her out. Actually, same friend who I went to Thailand with. Shout out Amber. Shout out to Amber. This is one of my closest, dearest, like sweetest friends from college, and she is in Cape Town now, relocated there, where she is starting a wine and hospitality company. It's called Velisa. You should go check it out. My favorite hobby. I love to draw. I love to draw. I'm always doodling. Like I write by hand a lot, so I have a lot of notebooks all the time, and I'm always like doodling in the margins. And then recently, I actually picked up a sketchbook again because I used to love to draw like portraits and faces and things like that. And so that's one of those things that I was like, people always say you should always have something that you do just for you or just for fun, that it's not tied to a goal or it's not tied to, trying to monetize. And so that's been one for me. I love just having pencil and paper, pen and paper, and just start sketching. My favorite song by me. Okay. Of the songs that are released, meaning the songs that you can find, Note to Self is the one that I still come back to even for myself. I know a lot of artists are like, once you put something out, we don't always listen to our own stuff a lot, and that was me for a while. But Note to Self, that's the title track from the EP, also called Note to Self. And it came about in such an interesting way because back to me always writing things down. I always have sticky notes sort of like around my desk, around my workspace, around the house, wherever. And it's just reminders, affirmations, things like that. And I had one for years that said, this work will provide, but you have to do the work. And I can't remember where I got it from. It was probably a podcast I was listening to or something I was reading, I don't know. But I had it on my mirror in my room, like in my little meditation space. And as I was working on the EP, I had 5 songs already. So it was really kind of like, this is plenty for an EP. But I felt like I wanted something that would kind of tie it all together and tie all of these songs together. And so I sat down to write one day, and for whatever reason, that sticky note is what kind of jumped back out at me, like that phrase, this work will provide, but you have to do the work. And I just started writing, and it's one of the few songs that I can say it's like it all came out in one sitting. Like I can't even really tell you how we got from, verse 1 to the bridge and the hook and whatever else, but the whole song is kind of like a mantra. Like the chorus or the hook is literally me just saying these 4 lines over and over. It's write it down, read it out, say it loud, dream it now. Okay, if it exists in my mind, then it can exist in the world. If I can write it down on paper, then I can bring it into some sort of physical manifestation. And so that's my favorite song of mine right now. And that one's out, so you can go listen to it.
That